Two. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now,
all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on the life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you. I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me. But that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name. Now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made the face. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap. I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court, from the DC school. I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and that's not really fair. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I.S.U.P.K until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail. Shit, I needed help. But Twan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie, pump smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time when I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a prepare slaughter. We bout to bombard their whole operation. Certified priest, prophesied this my occupation. This shit outrageous. They done made the truth docile. That's why we on the corner crying aloud, looking hostile. I.S.U.P.K style. Can't stop now. Find this warfare couldn't last one round. Let the oppressed rise, and let the rich mourn till the sundown. Enough with this shit. I'm about to make it hot, call it compound. This for my niggas, put the guns in the drugs down. Dwelling in peace till the Lord call for the blood hail. Try to decide my death and got beside yourself. Swore draw for what you perform. How you gon' hide yourself? Devil got to die for his lies and his visions. I ain't got no love for them crackers. Nah, just cruel intentions. And in my father's house is spinning mansions. I got plenty bitches. Worthy of vengeance. This your death sentence. I'm talking to you. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. That they do not rise and fill the world with lies. And die for your skin. You gon' die for your crime. That's why I'm talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life. Try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil's at the end is still. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. Now they shook from vicious words out this handbook. Bound to take these rappers back to school. My flow said it hook. They crossed the line, ain't no coming back. I.S.U.P.K no cowards. The only thing sweet is the honey check. Righteous is the Lord. Give me rest from my sorrow. And hand down death for them devils. There's no tomorrow. Why? Cause they violence leave a man a stiff corpse. You see a flag in a badge, I see horns in a pitchfork. Go ahead. So please believe it. The white man is a demon. And I ain't gon' vote for them to free me. No. They beat us till we the color purple. That's why this knife till they broke like ceiling. You got this nigga on his knees. They wanna have peace. We screaming, let this bitch burn at 1,000 degrees. I'm laying in the bosom of revenge. I told her I'd do anything she pleased as I squeeze on the double D's. Fuck you mean? I'm talking to you. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. That they do not rise and fill the world with lies. And die for your skin. You gon' die for your crime. I'm talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life. Try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil's at the end is still. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah.
The police just shot him for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black on. I can't really do shit because they got me handcuffed. I can't believe they just did this. I'm fucking back! Ah!
It's okay, I'm right here with you.
slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, slaughter. That they do not rise and fill the world with lies and die for your skin. You gon' die for your pride. That's why I'm talking to you. So war for your life. Your life. Try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devil's that the end is still. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah.
Shalom, Hebrew. Yahawasham Yahashai Brakata to the brothers, Yahawasham Alatan Basham Yahashai. To the sisters, welcome to I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica Wednesday evening law class. Yes, the I.S.U.P.K. began at 1 West, 125th Street in 1969. And is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA. All right. So as we're getting ready to celebrate our Passover, but it is the 54th Passover. This one here is a 50. This was 4 years ago. Damn. 54th annual Passover this year in Raleigh, North Carolina. All right. All right, topic this evening. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives should glory in the grace of Christ. What do I mean by that? We should, thanks that it's not a perfect score. That will get you in heaven, but get into the kingdom of the Most High, that same kingdom referred to in Revelation, by the grace of Christ. All right, meaning it's not it's not so much by perfection that is going to get you in there, but by you being the truth under Christ, and Christ has promised to get you there. And the scripture says, not by him that willeth or runneth. All right. Shalom.
Shalom, sir.
I was calling you earlier. I was calling you earlier.
Okay, Slovakia. Yeah. Just as Slovakia.
You want to play some music? You want to find somebody U.P.K. music that me can't seem to find. All right, so it is the kingdom of God is promised. Oh gosh, it's promised to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But
Net kind of weak.
Come again? Repeat. Connection bad. Maybe I should. Maybe it's my connection. All right, so it's not by getting a perfect score, but it is by us showing the interest that the kingdom will be given to you. You will have some power and autonomy in the kingdom, right? It's not by what Christians tend to make. Why can we even say they are lukewarm? Christians are not even lukewarm when it comes to the kingdom. We would say lukewarm and fake Israelite. They're more to be lukewarm. But Christians more to be cold. All right. I want to get into some reading. All right. So, the Most High promised us to take care of us. Well, He have a covenant with us, and that covenant is such that if you do good, you'll be blessed. If you keep my laws, you'll be blessed. If you don't keep my laws, you'll be punished. So, we now be born of the seed of Jacob. You really and truly don't have an option. You have been sanctified by the world at large and by the church in telling you that you have a choice. You born a black, Hispanic, or Native American, you here in Jamaica, you do have a choice. The only thing to make you truly prosper is to serve, to keep the law, statutes, and the most high. Today, to do that, you have to get in the truth. You can't do it on your own out there. Right? You read the Levitical laws and you're going to try and keep it. And you're going to go off on a tangent. You will. Because the body of Christ is one. So in other words, you have to join yourself to the body of Christ. All right, let's get into some reading. We're going to talk about Job now. Job was one who eschewed evil, meaning he kept the law, statutes and statutes of the Most High. But he was tried. Now, when Job friends visited him, Job friends were saying, "Man, you commit some sin, man. You're not talking everything, man. There is something that you're not saying." All right? But Job knew what was happening. Job realized that he's an innocent man. But those around him who look at him and said, "Nah, man, you must something you do, man." Well, today, if any of us should be experiencing anything close to Job, well, we don't know, so we never did keep the land. So, I mean, we can't say, "Boy, what have I done?" me no do nothing. Because we already know that our people didn't keep the laws. And we know that the Most High did said that he will visit the sins of the fathers down to the third and fourth generation, which means third and fourth generation, you could be innocent. Yes, maybe you're born and you never commit a sin, but you never commit it, and the Most High did already say he will do that. So in by today's standard, boy, none of us can say, boy, God is being punishing us for nothing, right? We know that he chases whom he loves. All right, shalom to Sharash Gabar, Trooper Gabar from Texas. Welcome. All right. So we know that unlike Job, today, why we our foreparents did terrible things, so we paying the price. We know that. So we wouldn't even bother try to put ourselves like Job. But nonetheless, let's read on to Job. Job chapter 4, verse 1. Eliphaz the Temanite. All right, we're going to read about this man. All right, so there's a man named Eliphaz who went to visit Job. He was a Temanite. He was from Teman. I don't remember which of the nations Teman was descended from. You have to go back in the scriptures for that. But nonetheless, he was a friend to Job and he came to visit Job while Job was sick. Now, he was saying to Job, nah, man, something wrong here, man. You're sure you don't do something, man? There must be something that you did, man. All right, you're back.
I'm not sure, sir.
Come to your Wi-Fi this evening.
From when it reached them hours, it started get trouble. I don't know how.
Maybe at the weather.
Just have to go and watch it. Well, not really no fall today still. Nor yesterday.
Yeah, but the clouds are around, I have a similar thing here as well. Sometimes we get trouble.
Gun.
All right, Job chapter 4.
Another one gun. This is the book of Job, chapter 4 and 1. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, verse 2, if we essay to commune with thee, wilt thou be grieved? Or who can withhold himself from speaking? Verse 3, behold, thou hast instructed many, and thou hast strengthened the weak hands. Verse 4, thy words have upholden him that was fallen, and thou hast strengthened the feeble knee. Verse 5, but now it is come upon thee, and thou faintest, it toucheth thee, and thou art troubled.
All right, so what Eliphaz saying
Verse
to
6,
Job?
is not this thy fear?
Hold on. What Eliphaz saying to Job now, is that, Let me commune with thee. Let us commune with you. Will you be grieved for that? But I can't withhold myself from speaking. And then him say, boy, you have instructed many. You have strengthened the weak hands. You have given words to uphold and that with him that was fallen. You have strengthened the feeble knees, meaning persons who, feel like giving up on their journey. Job has given them strength. Job's counsel has made these people strong. But now it is your time to be in trouble, and you have fainted. The same thing touched you, and now you are troubled, man. Is not your fear, is not thy fear, thy confidence, thy hope, and thy uprightness of thy ways. Read on. Yeah, read on.
Gather one can. Verse 6. Is not this thy fear, thy confidence, thy hope, and thy uprightness of thy ways? Verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Verse 8. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. Verse 9. By the blast of God they perish, and by the breath of his nostril are they consumed. Verse 10. The roaring of the lion and the voice of the fierce lion and the teeth of the young lions are broken. Verse 11. The old lion perisheth for lack of prey, and the stout lions whelp are scattered abroad. Verse 12. Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and mine ear received a little thereof.
All
Verse
right, so
13.
Eliphaz now,
In thoughts,
hold on. Eliphaz now setting the foundation for his speech, making that, great talk at the beginning. The feeble lion, where is that again? The roaring of the lion and the voice of the fierce lion and the teeth of the young lion are broken, right? Old lion perished for lack of prey, meaning the old lion who can hunt again is dead for hunger, right? Lack of prey, meaning lack of his ability to hunt and find a prey, something to prey, to eat. And the stout lion, that's a strong lion, his whelps, who is his cubs, are scattered abroad. Basically, in contrasting things to Job. Basically, I set the stage to give Job a certain counsel, what he thinks. Read on.
Gunner one gun. Verse 13. In thought from the vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men. Verse 14. Fear came upon me and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Verse 15. Then a spirit passed before my face. The hairs of my flesh stood up. Verse 16. It stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof. An image was before mine eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying, verse 17, Shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? Verse 18, behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. Verse 19, how much less is them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the mud. Verse 20, they are destroyed from morning to evening, they perish forever without any regard in it. Verse 21, does not their excellency which is in them go away? They die even without wisdom.
Right. So what he's saying now is, mortal man can't be more just than God. Well, no, that Job is just. They would have known that too. But, him setting the stage to say, there's that one little thing. Mortal man can't be more just than God. Right? God, shall a man be more pure than his maker? It can't be more pure than you make something, it can't be more pure than you. Right, which is why, things like computers, as sophisticated as I say a computer is, it still cannot be more sophisticated than man. Because man make it.
Right.
So the same thing goes with the Most High. Whatever he makes cannot be more advanced or more sophisticated than him. Right? His angels, his very angels who is more sophisticated than us. In charge them with folly, meaning their actions to him is like folly. How much so we that dwell in house made of clay, which foundation is which is in the dust of the earth, right? They can just shake the earth and you get rid of man. Right. So Eliphaz now, trying to make putting in some words of, set the stage with words of wisdom. All right, continue to fight.
Gun. This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 1. Call now, if there be any that will answer thee, and to which of the saints will thou turn? Verse 2, for wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slay the silly one. Verse 3, I have seen the foolish taking root, but suddenly I curse his habitation.
All right, so this man now being a
Verse
Temanite.
4,
Hold on. This man being a Temanite now is call now if there be any that will answer thee, and to which of the saints will thou turn? Now we know that this man now would have been like an Eden unto Job. We don't pray to saints. We never call upon any saint. We don't regard any of the prophets as no saint in the sense. This is like the Catholic Church. I can imagine the Catholic Church use this part here. So we can turn to the saints. Okay, the Catholic Church pray to the saints. You know that. Officer Kayano.
I'm slacky, you break up you go in and out when you're speaking, sir.
Really? Okay, I was saying that the Job's friend here, You know, him obviously was, today we would have called him an Eden. Based on what him say in verse 1 there of chapter 5. You know, to which of the saints would thou turn? Now, we in the truth know that we don't turn to saints. But I'm saying you can just imagine how the Catholic, you know that the Catholic Church, Catholic Church does pray to saints. All the humans who have died and they have made them into saints, they do pray to them. I was saying, if you know that the Catholic I was saying, if you know that Catholic Church pray to saints, the very
sir.
humans who they have made into saints, who have died, like Teresa, Mother. You remember Mother Teresa?
Gone.
When Mother Teresa was made into a saint after she died. So it means that their church member can pray to Mother Teresa. All the popes are made into saints. I can't remember which other ones. You have one of them. You have a saint with the name Saint Patrick. You have a Saint Patrick's Day. And they have a whole heap of saints. Now they can pray to their saints. That shows that their religion is a different thing from what Christ preached. But if you check it in Job chapter 5 and 1, Job friend, one of Job's friends said, call now, if there be any that will answer you, and to which of the saints will thou turn? But we don't do that here in the truth. So that's what Job's friend was saying. All right, read on.
Gun and one gun. Verse 4. His children are far from safety, and they are crushed in the gate. Neither is there any to deliver them. Verse 5. Whoso harvests the hungry eateth up, and taketh it even out of the tarns, and the robber swalloweth up their substance. Verse 6. Although affliction cometh not forth of the dust, neither does trouble spring out of the ground. Verse 7. Yet man is born unto trouble as the sparks fly upward. Verse 8. I would seek unto God, and unto God would I commit my cause. Verse 9. Which doeth great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number. Verse 10. Who giveth rain upon the earth, and sendeth waters upon the field. Verse 11. To set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. Verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. The counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Verse 14. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and grope in the noonday as in the night. Verse 15, but he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. Verse 16, so the poor has hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Verse 17, behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Verse 18, for he maketh sore and bindeth up, he wounded and his hands make whole.
All right, so this one now is giving some strong talk to Job. His Temanite is saying some things to Job, which if Job was an idolater, then Job could. If Job was one who think about other a possibility of other idols and that there could other gods have strength, then Job would have probably tried to call on those other gods, right? This man have some understanding of the Most High. He's Temanite of the Most High. He knows that God is strong. He knows that God defends the poor, right? So, that shows that the Most High have been defending the poor before he gave Moses those laws in writing.
Right.
Because we have it in the writing as to how he defends the poor. But here these Temanite is saying it. That the Most High does defend the poor. So that the poor at hope and this better mouth. All right, read on.
Another one can. Verse 19, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Verse 20, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Verse 21, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shall thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Verse 22, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the earth. Verse 23, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Verse 24, and thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation, and shall not sin. Thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring as the grass of the earth. Verse 26, thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like as a shock of corn cometh in his season. Verse 27, lo, this we have searched it, so it is. Hear it, and know thou it for thy good.
Right. Lo this, we have searched it, so it is. Hear it, and know thou it for thy good. So if I tell Job that Job will know these things for your good. So in other words, boy, you must know which side you fall in on. But from the looks of things, you're falling on the bad side. So there is something that you're doing which you're not talking, man. You need to go and confess it. All right, next chapter.
Chapter 6 and verse 1. But Job answered and said, verse 2, oh, that my grief were thoroughly weighed, and my calamity laid in the balances together. Verse 3, for now it would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words are swallowed up. Verse 4, for the arrows of the Almighty are within me. The poison whereof drinketh up my spirit. The terrors of God do set themselves in array against me. Verse 5, does the wild ass bray when he has grass, or loweth the ox over his fodder? Verse 6, can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg?
The taste is in the yolk. Okay, go on.
Another one, verse 7, the things that my soul refused to touch are as my sorrowful meat. Verse 8, oh, that I might have my request, and that God would grant me the thing that I long for. Verse 9, even that it would please God to destroy me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off.
Right, so Job is saying here, you know, boy, I know I'm innocent and we never really do anything, you know, but if it would please God to destroy me, just kill me. Just kill me and done. Put me out my misery. Is Job toward this line excellent as a youth, casting no accusation on the Most High God for what him know God do this to him, you know, but he is casting no accusations on God. Continue.
Another one, verse 10, then should I yet have comfort, yea, I would harden myself in sorrow. Let him not spare, for I have not concealed the words of the Holy One. Verse 11, what is my strength that I should hope? And what is mine end that I should prolong my life? Verse 12, is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh of brass? Verse 13, is not mine help in me, and is wisdom driven quite from me? Verse 14, to him that is afflicted, pity should be shewed from his friend, but he forsaketh the fear of the Almighty. Verse 15, my brethren have dealt deceitfully as a brook, and as the stream of brooks, they pass away. Verse 16, which are blackish by reason of the ice, and wherein the snow is hid. Verse 17, what time they wax warm, they vanish. When it is hot, they are consumed out of their place. Verse 18, the paths of their way are turned aside. They go to nothing and perish. Verse 19, the troops of Tema looked, the companies of Sheba wait for them. Verse 20, they are confounded because they had hope. They came thither and were ashamed. Verse 21, for now ye are nothing. Ye see my casting down and are afraid. Verse 22, did I say, bring unto me, or give a reward for me of your substance? Verse 23, or deliver me from the enemy's hand, or redeem me from the hand of the mighty?
All right.
Verse 24.
What Job doing now? Job actually chastising him. You know, in all languages, listen, me never call you here to beg you nothing, you know. But don't come tell me like it's my fault what is happening to me. Basically, that's what Job I tell him. Me then call for begging. Did
Right.
they for now ye are nothing. Ye see my casting down and are afraid. Did I say, bring unto me, or give a reward for me of your substance, or deliver me from the enemy's hand, or redeem me from the hand of the mighty? In other words, Job I tell us, I didn't call us beg, you didn't come out, I didn't beg you nothing. You come tell me something. All right, read on.
Another one can. Or deliver me from the enemy's hand, or redeem me from the hand of the mighty. Verse 24. Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand wherein I have erred. Verse 25. How forcible are right words, but what does your arguing reprove? Verse 26. Do ye imagine to reprove words, and the speeches of one that is desperate, which are as wind? Verse 27. Yea, ye overwhelm the fatherless, and ye dig a pit for your friend. Verse 28. Now therefore be content. Look upon me, for it is evil if I lie. Verse 29. Return, I pray you, let it not be iniquity. Yea, return again. My righteousness is in it. Verse 30. Is there iniquity in my tongue? Cannot my taste discern perverse things?
Right. So what that friend is really doing is accusing Job. In other words, by Job, I must you do something, you know. Can't be so. Job do something and not talk, man. So this friend
Right.
now is blaming Job for what has happened to him. But Job knows that he's falsely accused. So what he's doing is he's chastising this friend for accusing him of committing some unknown sin. In other words, well, I'm not say unknown to everybody. Maybe Job do something where people don't know, nobody don't know about. So the Most High is chastising him for it. Because what he was laying out is what we could call that punishment and reward. You know, we talk about the strong. So once you're a strong man, this will happen. If you're a weak man, that will happen. Right? If you're rich, this will happen. If you're poor, that will happen. Even though the Most High, he knows that God looks out for the poor. He mentioned the lion, the weak lion, the old lion himself, perish because he can't hunt. That's logical. That's the word I'm looking for. What he is pointing out to Job are logical things. But Job knows that the things that are happening to him goes beyond logic. So in other words, you know, there's another word that it, right, equal and opposite reaction. So in other words, you know, I think it's Psalm said, do good and good will follow you. So it means if you do evil, evil will follow you too. These are things, these are sayings with some logics behind it. But what is happening to Job is not logics, because the logics is do good and good will follow you. So if good not following you according to that logics, then what is happening? you're not doing good. According to that logic, it would mean that Job not doing good, but Job now is chastising him. First thing Job at him said, Bridget, me then call you come back and you know. You can't tell me about yeah, you can't tell me about you know these things as if it's me do something. I don't me do nothing, man. I'm innocent. My righteousness is in this. Right. Next chapter.
God, one can. This is the book of Job, chapter 7 and verse 1. Is there not an appointed time to man upon the earth? Are not the are not his days also like the days of an hireling? Verse 2. As a servant earnestly desireth the shadow, and as an hireling looketh for the reward of his work. Verse 3. So am I made to possess months of vanity, and wearisome nights are appointed to me. Verse 4. When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise, and the night be gone? And I am full of tossings to and fro unto the dawning of the day.
All right. Can't sleep at night.
Gone.
Basically, him cannot sleep. He's tormented. When him go to bed, him can't wait for daylight. Read on.
Canon 1 Con, verse 5. My flesh is closed with worms and clods of dust. My skin is broken and become loathsome. Verse 6. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and are spent without hope. Verse 7. Oh, remember that my life is wind. Mine eyes shall no more see good. Verse 8. The eyes of him that has seen me shall see me no more. Thine eyes are upon me, and I am not. Verse 9. As the cloud is consumed and vanisheth away, so he that goeth down to the grave shall come up no more. Verse 10. He shall return no more to his house, neither shall his place know him any more. Verse 11. Therefore, I will not refrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Verse 12.
Right.
Am
So even though hold on. So even though Job talking and complaining, boy, I can't sleep at night. Worm take up my flesh and clots of dust because his sores, were putrefying. They were oozing. It's one thing when I have sore and it dry, when it dry, after a while, it's getting better. But when it's putrefying, boy, when it have the what do you call it? Pus and them thing they run, and it drains, that not really forget better yet. So it Job now have to be using ashes and in skin to control that drain. So that is why now he's saying that the clots of dust is flesh is clothed with worm and clots of dust. I have to sit in that dust. The dust help with the moisture coming in or coming out from the soil. This is a real this is a real terrible sight. But with all that he is going through and he curse everything and say, no curse God. He curse the day born. He curse the days that he have to rise up. But he has not cursed God. All right, read on.
Canal 1 can, verse 12. Am I a sea or a whale that thou settest a watch over me? Verse 30. When I say, my bed shall comfort me, my couch shall ease my complaint. Verse 40. Then thou scarest me with dreams and terrifiest me through visions. Verse 15. So that my soul chooseth strangling and death rather than my life. Verse 16. I loathe it. I would not live always. Let me alone, for my days are vanity.
All right, so this is
Verse
what he mean,
17.
what he
What
been
is
going
man
through
that
now.
thou
Hold on. So why am I going through now? Not only is he physically troubled, but why is it happening? When him do get to sleep, what happens? Dreams and terrifying visions. This is Job's story is we look at Job's story as a lesson in faith, but there is also a lesson in you learning how Satan torment people, terrify him in dreams, in vision and terrible dreams and visions because of what it come like COVID. Come like COVID, they get some terrible dreams with COVID too. Right? And some terrible and you know terrible things happening around you on the spiritual plane. So that show you how much Job was really going through, and Job thing was not COVID within 2 weeks supposed to leave you. Job thing was not like that. Job torment didn't go on for those 2 weeks. Go on.
Canada 1 can. Verse 17. What is man that thou shouldest magnify him, and that thou shouldest set thine heart upon him? Verse 18. Every morning and try him every moment. Verse 90. How long wilt thou not depart from me, nor let me alone till I swallow down my spittle? Verse 20. I have sinned. What shall I do unto thee, O thou preserver of men? Preserver of men. Why hast thou set me as a mark against thee, so that I am a burden to myself? Verse 21. And why dost thou not pardon my transgression and take away mine iniquity? For now shall I sleep in the dust, and thou shalt seek me in the morning, but I shall not be.
All right. So I'm saying to God now, well, obviously you see some sin I may not see. So just take me under. That's basically what I'm saying now. But I mean, because from the vantage point of what we call, logics, you doing good, this shouldn't be happening to you. But let's look at another, what do you call it now? Another point now, the Israelite point now. Because this man was before there was Israel. There is some amount of logics in what he's saying, in what the team and what Job was saying. Because when you check our covenant with the Most High, he says similar thing. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28.
Can one can?
Let's read from there. Let's read the blessings.
Can one can? This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right. So Job was
Verse
set on
2.
high.
And all these.
Hold on. Job was set on high above all those who was in his province that he was in. He was a mighty man. Right? But this promise was not written unto us. There was no promise to man yet. That you do this, I will that most I say you do this, then I will do that. But man had known that these things were basically done through faith. Right. That was why through faith, Abraham could have done what he did. All right. Verse 2.
Can one can, verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right. So
Verse 3.
Job was one who eschewed evil. And for that, the Most High had put a fence around it. So what you read in here, this is what give you that fence around you, like how Job did have that fence around him. This is what give you it, keeping the laws of the Most High God. Read on.
Can one can. Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field.
Right, I shall be blessed in country, and shall
Verse
be
4.
blessed in home. Read on.
Can one can. Verse 4. Blessed shalt thou be in the field, Slakiat. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
All right, so Job had experienced that. Go on.
Can one can. Verse 5. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Verse 6. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Job experienced that.
Verse 7. Verse 7. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways.
All right. So Job would have been experiencing that before those who remember I think it was his camel were taken away by mostly the Sabians or some other set of people. Maybe it's not the first they come upon him. They would have come on him before, but his servants were able to find him out. But not so this time. Go on.
Another one can. Verse 8. The Lord shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
All right. So all these that we're reading about would come from Yahweh.
Verse 9.
Hold on. This would come from Yahweh, right? All these blessings. He promised to bless all the things that you verse 1 just read it. Right. In the storehouses,
Cancer.
that is things that you have stored up, and all that you set on your hand to do, that is, business, whatever. He shall bless thee in the land that was in Canaan. All right, go on. Read on. Verse 9. Verse 9.
Gunner 1 can. Verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. Verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee.
Right, that was Job. Go on.
Another one gone. Verse 11. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruits of thy body, and in the fruits of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, and in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
All right.
Verse
So
12.
Job's is just equivalent to what the nation of Israel, of all the nation of Israel was doing. Job prosperity. All right. Done. Yeah, read on.
Another one gone. Verse Verse 12. And the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Verse 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head, and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. Verse 14. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods, to serve them.
Right. So
Verse
this was
15.
not, hold on, this was not given to Job, but Job followed by faith these things, right? He did his daily sacrifice, well, maybe not daily, but he did his sacrifices, his remittance of sin, in search himself. That was why he knew that he was faultless. So it means then that there was something that he was following. It's not, all right. These idols that people serve, they have rules written by man. If you follow them, nothing wrong with you. If you don't follow them, nothing is wrong with you, really, because these idols can punish you. But Job knows that he was serving the true and living God, and he knows what to do. So there might not have been something in writing, but he knows how to follow the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why he was termed for blameless. All right, read verse 15 now.
Another one can, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou shalt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right. So Job knew that. So this now what you read now, this was given to us in writing, and this was termed logical. This is basically logical now, because if you keep the Most High's laws, you're blessed. You don't keep them, you're cursed. Follow the line of logics. That this was given to the nation, this wasn't given to no one man at the time. But he also says that he bring the sins of the parents, and they punish the down to the third and fourth generation. Right? So you now could have sins to be paid. So we know that. But in Job time, it wasn't like that. It wasn't given like that. So Job know that anything is happening to him is because of him. Which was why he could not understand what was happening, because if he had known that he could pay for his parents' debt, then at somewhere in his conversation that would be coming up. But what he's talking about is in his righteousness. He know that he himself has lived a righteous life. But we know that if we don't follow the law, statutes, and commandment of the Most High, then these things would be happening to Job. And basically, what is happening to Job, that happened to Job, is it happening to us now? Yeah. We have lost all the wealth that we had as a nation. It's gone to another nation. Our wealthy sports people and entertainers and so on is really controlled by another next nation. Where's that proof? Kanye West. I mean, them all on Kanye West millions of dollars that about in owe tax. I thought that was the duty of the IRS. I didn't know that was duty of a bank.
Right.
Right. So at this show, that we are going through curses. Right? The same thing, the same thing that Job going through as an individual is the same thing we going through as a people. Yeah, man. If you work in the institutions, our health institutions, you see people covered with sores too. Right? You see, there are people among us who have lost tremendous wealth. You be like Bolt. But Bolt has not lost everything. Bolt lost last year money. What this year coming. But for a joke aside, what Job went through, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going through it. Look at the Puerto Rican. You're in a country that is called rich port. You are so rich that the name of the country have a riches. But where is it? Where is it for the people?
Right.
Where is that riches that the people should be able to show? And say, you see, this is what rich port is. Where is that? Because of the curses. So we're going through exact thing that Job himself is. Well, Job went through. We going through it now. And there is one way out. And that is through, the Christ can redeem us. But don't go further in the story of Job. We will see how Job was redeemed. But that fence to guard you, your health, your family, all the good things that make you prosper comes only from the Most High God. You are a black, Hispanic, and Native American, God guard you with that. Because the adversary now, Satan, is trying to disprove you at all costs. Probably that's why the system that we operate in is the way it is. This system there's so many red tape and obstacles in this system. It's as if it's trying to break you. It's trying to prove you at all costs. Just the same way Satan would work. That's how you know the kind of system you're in. That is why the scripture tells you that you wrestle not against flesh and blood. The wrestling is not with flesh and blood, boy. It's against, what the rulers of darkness and so on and so forth. All right. Give me 2 Corinthians 12. I read 7 to 9. We'll close with that.
Another one can. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 7. And when the Lord saw that they humbled themselves, the word of the Lord came to Shemaiah, saying,
Hold on.
They have...
Hold on. 2 Corinthians.
Oh, Salakia, these are Chronicles.
Okay. When I say Shemaiah,
that kind of, you know what I mean, processing in my brain to like, Shemaiah, I'm going to read this somewhere with you. Salakia.
All right, we're going to read from 7 to 9.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 7. Unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure.
All right, so is it Paul looking, hold on. Paul looking at what is happening to him. He knows it is from the messenger of Satan. But because the Most High God, which Paul himself served, allows it to happen. Paul knows that God is allowing this to happen to him for a reason. So, it makes no sense for Paul go and talk about dirty foot one pan Satan keep on doing this and keep on doing that. Because he take that matter to the Most High God. I gotta remove that thing. All right. Read on, verse 8.
Verse 8. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. Verse 9, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I um, rather glory in my infirmities, than the power of Christ may rest upon me.
That the
That,
power of
Slack, that
Christ.
the power of
Right.
Christ may rest.
So, right. So, in other words, now, if it wasn't for that infirmities that is within each of us, we'll be doing some great things without calling on, without depending on Christ so much to strengthen us. But because of that infirmity, now you have to lean on Christ. So this was now Job, when the fence was around him. Job never did promise no Christ or anything like that. But when the fence was around Job knew that he should lean on the Most High God. But when did he lean most on God? When the Most High took all that he had and punished him and let sores took over his body. Right? It's just like we know. When we lean most on God now is now. Now that we know our distress and as a nation, and if it wasn't for these, if it wasn't that we have sinned, then right, we would still be in the southern kingdom, barring the other those that were kicked out of the kingdom from coming in. Would still be saying, you ain't no Jew, you ain't an Israelite, you were not circumcised on the 8th day, right? But because we also have sinned, right? Then we now realize that, hey, we also need Christ. And now all 12 tribes need Christ, right? So all 12 tribes. At this time when Paul was experiencing grace was through this exile. Those who were in Jerusalem at the time, the 12, they had their experience. This was Paul working with the Gentile, or working with those Jews, those Israelites who were cast out before Christ came, and they are now to be brought back in the fold, right? Those are the ones who need the grace of Christ. The one in Jerusalem, they were also cockatoo that them crucified Christ. We don't need it. We are here. But today now, we learn from Job that we're going through our putrefying souls today, but Christ is the one who is going to redeem us. Christ is the one who allows us to glory, or did Paul put it? Glory in our infirmities. Because of that infirmity, you have to lean on Christ. So that's why Christ's grace is sufficient to cover you. If not, there would be some boastful men who think that we are perfect. All right, questions?
Okay, sir, what do you say to those who, because I can remember, I always do this, I don't know if it's right, but being in church where there are Christians who discredit Job's experience, stating that it's just a story.
Yeah, they brush it off as And what happened, you know, that in the church, a lot of them brush off most of the things in the Bible as just a story. Mhm. All right, continue.
I was just asking, I was just saying, what you say to that, which they would have said is just a story. Because when I look into it, coming into the truth and getting the breakdowns and seeing the state of our people and the daily experiences of life, it, it closely it correlates with the experience of Job.
Mm-hmm.
So for it to be, brushed aside that it's just a story, it's like you're being hypocritical of holding up book that you don't believe in the church.
Well, we know it, when you come in the truth, you see how hypocritical Christianity and the world is. But um, if Job is really a story, then trust me, it one of the best. It would be one of the best crafted story ever made. And that's what I'm saying, right? But we in the truth, we don't want it as a story, right? Because Job did exist, but he was one. He's a man who existed before the Most High had the nation of Israel as his people. He always have his people in the earth. Yes.
I was thinking of another thing, sir. Could it be that these experiences are in the Bible, of our own people? When Christianity would try to bring it across that, God is a God of love. It's as if you were just blind throughout life and you have no challenges, all of these experiences as, you know, a people we would not experience because it's not coming from God. God is a God of love, God is a God of peace. But at the same time, in I don't know if it's a case where they want us to just remain to believe that you don't have to worry about, the struggles of life, concerned about the cares of our people. Just think that will always be good and God understands and He's a God of love and forgiveness and all that.
Exactly. Just suffer in silence. Come to church and get your cereal and go home feeling good to take on the week again. But they never speak against the system. Actually, not in the way that we in the truth, we blast a lot of things. We blast that which is not right. We let our people know that yeah, the system stay a certain way, but it's soon gone.
Mhm.
All right. It will soon be proclaimed. You might not hear it, might not in the spiritual claim. There will not be any more time unto these people. Go and get my people. Right? That proclamation is coming. It's closer than you think. But they they talking about the story of Job is it attests to how much they themselves actually believe. Well, the Christian who go to them Bible study and things, they study Job, but in their Bible study they are told that Job is one of his Job didn't exist.
Yeah.
They were told. So for you tell the Christian that Job didn't exist, then you are saying to him, this wasn't real. So, you know, just take it as just a story.
Mhm.
Right. But when you come in the truth and you come back to your covenant, well, you start understanding your covenant with the Most High. Then you see the parallel with the nation of Israel and with Job. There is some parallels. Job didn't sin, but we did. So we experiencing the same things that Job experiencing. We are more justified. It's more justified for we going through what we're going through because we did sin as a people, right? So they will not understand it, and they will not understand it to that level because in the first place they don't believe that he was real. So they take his story as just one of, oh, this is just a story of faith. Have faith in God. You're going through this or you're going through that, just don't curse God and have faith. Right. Which is why I read the covenant showing that he have a covenant with Job. Never did have a written covenant. Job did what he did by faith. But we know with our covenant, we did sin. So it is just that the Most High punish us and try us. But then we have a Redeemer through Christ. So even though we have been punished, a time will come when that punishment will end. Just like Job, a time did come when he was restored. So it doesn't, his story alone mirror the entire nation. We had it good in the time of King Solomon. We're going through putrefying sores now, and we know that same like how Job was restored, we will be restored. But the church deny you of your identity, so you can't see it that way in the church. You have been denied your identity as an Israelite. You ain't no Israelite to the church. All right. Any more question coming from any comments or question, Officer Kayaba?
Last, sir.
All right. So with that, pass the class to Priest and Officer Kayaba.
All right, clap it up. All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. Where the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. It's tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced Ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the church department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatever amount you'd like to give. All right, and if you want to pay your tithes and your donation, just go over to ISUPK144.com, you know what I mean, and support the truth over there. Here where you see the tithes and donation button, just click that, and that will take you to where you can, you know what I mean, support the truth. Upcoming Holy Convocation. So the next upcoming Holy Convocation is the Passover, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's on April the 1st, so that's less than 2 weeks away. You know what I mean? It's not too late for you to get ready, you know what I mean, for the Passover. So just call the number, saying for information on how you can, you know what I mean, attend the Passover. All blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are invited. reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK144.com, Facebook, Twitter, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say I Marium, which means to stand. Sarwapanya Aquadam, which means we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and in English. Abanawa,
Abanawa,
Shabashamayam,
Shabashamayam,
Kwadash,
Kodash,
Aya,
Aya,
Shamka,
Shankar,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malakwatka,
Malakwatka,
Tawa'a,
Tawa'a,
Katazaka,
Atazaka,
Aya,
Aya,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Baharataza,
Barataza,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Aya,
Aya,
Bashamayam,
Washamaya,
Nathanlanawa,
Nathanawa,
Lakam,
Akam,
Kal,
Kam,
Yawam,
Awam,
Wasalaklanawa,
Wasalaklanawa,
Kawabwatnawa,
Kawabwatnawa,
Kasalatnawa,
Kasalatnawa,
Kawabwatyanawa,
Kawabwatyanawa,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Kabaya'anawa,
Kabayanawa,
Wanasayawan,
Wanasayawa,
Abal,
Abal,
Awashainawa,
Shainawa,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Rai,
Ra,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Ka,
Amalakwa,
Malakwat,
Wa'ala,
Wahala,
Wa'athapara, Amyam,
What about
La'aiwalamyam,
Awalam,
Aman.
Awalam,
Aman.
Aman. In English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come, thy be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts,
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power,
Thine is the kingdom, the power,
and the glory, forever so be.
forever so be it.
All right. Prayer for the cursing. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets,
heathen that speak against us, thy prophets,
the teachers,
teachers,
the princes,
princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers and the school.
the Israelite brothers at school.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen
and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel,
and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel
that refuse to give to the school.
that refuse to give to the school,
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary,
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites
send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites,
and the nations,
nations,
and their drug dealers,
and their drug dealers,
the court system,
The court
the court
system,
system,
the prison system,
the
the
prison
prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
skinheads,
skinheads,
Pasikomatazi,
Pasikomatazi,
the gay movement,
the gay movement,
the lesbian movement,
lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space programs,
NASA space programs,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet and the airways,
open up on the internet and the airwaves,
cable access channels and the radio channels,
cable access channels and radio channels,
the cable access channels and the radio channels,
cable access channels and the radio channels,
cable access channels and the radio channels,
the cable access channels and the radio channels,
convict the spirit of any of thy people
convey the spirit of any of thy people
that seek to stop us,
that seek to stop us,
and bring swift destruction to all the heathens
and bring swift destruction to all the heathen
that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words
that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues,
Let loose all the plagues,
cause them to go to and fro
cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahawashi, Michael, and Gabriel
Let Yahawashi, Michael, and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucer
come down with the flying saucer
and punish all the heathens
and punish all the heathens
that come up against us as we speak thy word.
that come up against us as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that has done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world.
Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahawashi.
In the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you always, Holy.
Thank you all. All right, this is the prayer for the power. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Washam Yahawashi.
Hashem Yahawashi.
Baba Kwasha.
Baba Pasha.
Nathan Lanawa.
Atan Lana.
Akak.
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 Larapa'a.
Larapa'a. Kalmakala.
Wakal Madawa.
Akal Madawa.
Akak.
Akak.
Lata'a.
Lata'a.
Amatazarayam.
Amatazara.
Akak.
Akak.
La Aquayam.
Lahapayam.
Amathiam.
Amathiam.
Akak.
Akak.
Irakawa.
Alokawat,
Atama'ala,
Atamala,
Lagarashan,
Nagarashan,
Ba'asham Yahawashai,
Ba'asham Yawashai,
Thawadah Aman.
Wadaman. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. All right, this is the prayer for the blessings to bless Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Ba'asham Yahweh.
Baraklanawa.
Baraklanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Waha. Wayatapariam.
Wayatapariam.
Barak. Rapa'a. Magan.
Hagan.
Commanding General YAHANNA. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. The young men and the sisters. Ba'asham Yahawashai. Thawadah Aman.
All right, what we have just said in English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahweh. Thank you, so be.
All right, sir, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. First. Men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K. Shabbat. I.S.U.P.K. Barak. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashai Barakathah.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashai Barakathah.
Yadamata, sir, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters of Israel. I.S.U.P.K. Shabbat. I.S.U.P.K. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alatham Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Yahweh Shamar Alatham Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Yadamata, class dismissed.
All right, just do the signing out.
All right, sir. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, so remember, like, share, subscribe. If you have questions, just leave it in the chat. You know what I mean? Passover is coming up April the 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina. Make sure you are there. Zin? And with that, we have a close out with some UPK music. Shalom.
Nigga, yeah. Get on his ass. 144, bitch.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they trade that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole thought. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about any part. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like the dark. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shane Sharp. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harvey. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Throw them boys, we taking notes. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK. you gon' represent? I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan, I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that, I swear to our court. Yeah, I just got off the call, I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fart. They ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the fart. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. You can't do with them steps. Them niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole start. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, told that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. Heck on. We gon' start